Stephen Jones joins you now on The Fan. And a good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm doing good.
Right on. Well, happy Football Friday to you. There are a number of names on this injury report, Stephen. How big of a concern are these as far as who's going to go on Sunday?
So you always like to have a full allotment of players available, but that's the game we play. All 32 have to deal with this, and this time of year we're a game out from our bye, which is probably going to come at a good time for us. But certainly when you don't have you're not fully healthy, it makes a difference. But the good news is I do think we've got more depth on this football team than we've had in many, many years, and I do think we can obviously go out and play a good football game if we're going to be missing a few guys.
And do you anticipate the same game plan if Zeke can't play, and will you be thinking splitting carries, or would Tony Pollard be more of a featured kind of guy?
I think Tony will obviously get more. If Zeke can't go, he'll get more carries than probably he's had, and I think he can certainly do that. We do certainly fired up about Malik and what he can do for us in the run game as well. He had a really good training camp with us and a good preseason, and feel good that that he can step up and fill in there. But certainly, if Zeke can't go, Tony will get more carries than he typically does.
Stephen, I've sat in a draft room with you for many a year, and I don't ever remember seeing a quarterback that just takes the ball and runs like this guy does. Is this the way the game is evolving, or is this just a rare cat with that ability?
Well, I just think obviously when you pick a guy, you certainly know what his strong suits are. I mean, Lamar Jackson, certainly, you end up, when you pick a player like a Lamar Jackson that has rare qualities, then you want to use those. And you do want to cater the offense to take advantage of their skill sets. And certainly they're doing that in Chicago. Think the world of Matt Eberflus. He's doing, in a lot of ways, what we are, playing a lot of complementary football. He's playing really good defense and then running the football on the offensive side. And, they've got a really good football team with their air up, and they're going to be a handful for us.
Stephen, you guys pulled a trade off this week, bringing in big Jonathan Hankins. What made this the right time to make a trade, and what do you like about Hankins and what he brings to the defense?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we all know, he's a 340-plus pound man. And, if you were to say, hey, if there's any weaknesses on our defense, you might say, well, our run defense could use some improvement. And certainly I think he'll do that for us. And it couldn't come at a better time. We're getting ready to play one of the best rushing teams in football in the Bears. And certainly he's going to bring that run-stopping element to the table. And he became available, and we thought, the price was right for us to improve our football team.
How important is it, Stephen, to be the team that gets to follow up on playing against an opponent that kind of tweak things in the way they do it? Because it looks like the Bears changed the way they play offense coming into the Patriots game, and it kind of caught the Patriots off guard. How much of an advantage is it to be the team that now, okay, we've seen it on tape, and now we can kind of gather ourselves, and we're not surprised whenever we step onto the field on Sunday?
Well, it's always helpful, and certainly, when we played the Lions last week, they had tweaked some things and had a bye week to do some things differently, and I thought Dan Campbell had them really prepared, and as we thought, we had a really tough game, and certainly the score was not indicative of, how tight the game was for the majority of it, and to be able to get a look at the Bears, before they come in here and see what they were doing with their running attack and what Coach Eberflus is doing with their defense is always helpful. But obviously that's part of the game, and I'm sure they'll continue to tweak things based on the way we play, both defensively, offensively, and special teams. And I know he'll have them prepared. I'm a big fan of his. He obviously had a big stay here in Dallas. Think the world of him and his family. And he's doing a great job there with the Bears.
You know, Stephen, with Odell Beckham Jr. out there and the trade deadline, there's a lot of debate here in the media about your wide receiver group. Do you guys believe it's sufficient to, be a good wide receiver and core?
I think we do have a really good group of receivers. Like I say about any spot on our team, if we see an opportunity to get better, then it works for us, then we're always for that. But I do think our group of receivers is only going to get better as they work with Dak, as Dak works his way back in. Certainly Michael Gallup coming off his injuries. We all know those ACLs, don't happen overnight when they come back, but think they'll do nothing but get better as we progress there. And we got a young guy in Tolbert, too, that, if Noah for some reason can't go this week, he's going to get a great opportunity to show why we picked him in the third round. So I do think it's a great group. Obviously, CD's our number one guy there, but I think it is a good group. But if we see an opportunity to improve, then we'll do that as well.
Stephen, as Gavin was mentioning, there's a lot of talk among the media and the fans and stuff like that about Turpin, and you see the explosiveness which he plays with. And by the way, congratulations on figuring that one out. But is there a little bit of hesitation about maybe using him in offensive snaps because he's such a weapon in the return game, or is that something that you really don't think about?
No, I don't think we worry about it. I mean, you obviously understand, his size, and, of course that can have some limiting factors at times, but he is very explosive, and I do see him as we move forward, as we move forward in the season, that he could become more and more part of our what we're doing offensively. And like I said, with Noah maybe being restricted or questionable for this upcoming game, then certainly I know Kellen Moore is taking a look at what we'll be doing with Turpin as well as Tolbert.
Stephen Jones with us here on 105.3 The Fan. So you not only made a trade, but Robert Quinn, who you know well, also got dealt. So was it a little bittersweet? What was the reaction like? You don't have to play him this week, but then he ends up going to a division rival in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy we got a ton of respect for. He came in here, he played really well, and got himself a really nice contract up in Chicago. And, Philadelphia got him a good football player, a good edge rusher. He's a really Gumby guy who can bend at the top of the rush, and certainly a guy we'll have to account for the next time we play the Eagles.
Stephen, thank you so much for your time. Give him hell on Sunday. We'll be pulling for you.
Thank you, guys. Great being on. Have a good weekend.